To my podcast about sports, about sports, about sports.
Howdy, Ags from the Tailgate, home of Aggie Football. What's up, C-Money?
Living the dream.
Living the dream. Today's episode brought to you by Matthews Electric. Keeping the lights on. Matthews Electric. All right. Folks, don't forget to email us at agstailgate@gmail.com. YouTube, subscribe. Get on there. Leave us some comments. Leave us some comments. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think about the show, what's going on. Speaking of those comments, we had a few from this past week. Rod Brock says, I thought Jimbo got the big money to take over Saban. Big not. He thought Jimbo was the answer, though. He was wrong. I don't know that I've ever thought he was just going to take over Saban. I was hoping that maybe one day he could just compete from time to time. How about that? Ricky Rollins says, what does Ricky Rollins say? Coach Durkin is the fly in the ointment. If Durkin plays that soft secondary look against Tennessee, obviously this was before the game.
They will slice and dice, huh?
They are going to slice and dice. And they didn't really slice and dice in the secondary, but they did slice and dice in the running game because of that soft look quite often. So a little slicing and dicing there. What else did we get here? Super soft secondary, multiple thirds with defenders 8 to 9 yards off away from the receivers. He thinks that Fisher was the one that sort of told him to start being a little bit more aggressive after the Miami game. I don't know if that's true because he's still allowing him to do it. So I'd probably go against that. Mr. ATM says, Jorvorskie Lane went to my high school. I played with Reggie McNeil and was a state champion. All right, Mr. ATM, welcome. A couple of new subscribers, Pacini R and Blaine Dion. Subscribe to the podcast. Welcome, fellas. Let me know what you guys think. Bring it. All right, Corey, we're going to start off here. Aggies lose at Neyland Stadium to the Tennessee Vols, 13-20. Before we get into the specifics of the game, and man, there's plenty to get into here. But before we go there, let's just talk about a few things. I had the pleasure of listening to Jimbo after the game in his press conference. And in that presser, our boy Jim has the audacity to sit there and tell us, look, nobody's hurting more than the players. It's true, probably. But he also has the audacity to tell us there's no adjustments in the game. No adjustments. People don't make adjustments at halftime. Jay, what's up?
What's happening?
He's talking about the Jimbo presser, about his press conference after the game.
Man, I had got so many different phone calls about it. Unfortunately, I didn't get to watch the game, but I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah, you didn't miss anything. I'll tell you that much. You went pretty much how you thought it would go.
Man, this weekend I took what I felt and I didn't watch it.
Well, I hope you got to do something a lot more fun than watching that game, to be honest with you, Jay.
Yeah. Actually, I went to go watch a little boxing. So man, I had a good old time.
Live boxing, huh?
Live boxing.
Right on, man. Where at?
In Lufkin at the Boys and Girls Club.
Love it. Boxing is one of those sports I don't think people realize sometimes how how much it takes out of you, man. How much it takes out of you. Like most folks can't go but a round or two.
Hey man, that was the only way I could keep my weight down.
Love it, dude. Love it. So we just got started, right? We're talking here a little bit about this A&M team, and before we get into the specifics of the game on Saturday, and we will do that. It's so frustrating to hear Jimbo after the game because he sounds like a dude without any answers, right? It's the same old crap. We got to execute better. Oh no, we got to do a better job coaching. We got to do this, right? It's all the same crap, but they don't no specifics, right? It's also, the idea they ask him, hey, it seems like there's no halftime adjustments. And he's like, oh, we don't have time for adjustments. You don't make adjustments. Jay, I wanted to ask you. Yes, he says this. I wanted to ask you, Jay. You played, man. I know I coached. Every halftime, we made some adjustments. They may not have been world-changing adjustments. We made adjustments. Jay, tell me what happens at halftime, buddy.
He said that?
He said that.
Are you I know I just got off the highway. Are you playing with me right now?
I'm as serious as I can be, man. He literally said it.
Well, that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. No adjustments?
No adjustments.
The best coaches make adjustments.
It's just like last year when it was this offseason when he told us, hey, all offenses are the same. Those schemes aren't different. All offenses are the same. But that's the kind of dumbass shit that comes out of his mouth consistently.
Bro, if I'm not saying I don't believe you, but I'm that's hard to hear that he said that.
Fact check me.
Bro, you make 80, bro. Your bot, come on, bro. Man, we're talking about a $90 million dude.
We're talking about a $90 million dude.
And you don't make adjustments?
Well, it's obvious. Watch the games. You watch the games, it's obvious he doesn't.
No, I bet if they fired his ass, he was making some adjustments. If they try to take some of that money, he'll take some adjustments.
It's crazy to me, right? This dude, one, he's no longer calling plays. Two, he doesn't want to make adjustments at halftime. Three, it's like he's trying to get fired so he can just get paid and leave and go home, right? Like, I don't understand exactly what he's going to, but all he says is, well, we're just inches away. The plays are there, so we don't have to make any adjustments. The plays are already there. We just got to make the plays. That's not what I saw. That is not what I saw, by the way.
I'm sorry, as a former player, that just pissed me off.
As a former coach, it pissed me off.
I got to give it to Jimbo. He's speaking the truth because it's obvious if you watch the games, he hasn't made any adjustments because they suck in the second half. He's telling the truth. He's a man of his word. You watch the games, you're like, hey, man, he's right. They didn't make any adjustments at all. We got worse. Every game, second half. You watch them, they get worse.
Look, and you know what? This is not even about this particular game anymore. This is about this program, right? A proud program that's got more money than most people in the country, right? Most programs in the country. It's got one of the best fan bases in the country, best facilities in the country, a great, area for recruits and everything else. There's no excuse for this program. We are proud Aggies, man. We love what we see here at A&M. We want to see this be successful. So I'm not even making this about this game anymore. I'm making it about this program because I want to give you some numbers, guys, and I want to hear what both of y'all have to say when you hear this. Right now, this Aggie football team is 4-3 this year, 2-2 in the conference, 0-2 on the road. They've lost 8 straight games on the road under Jimbo. But I want to expand this out to take the 2020 season out, his 9-1 year. Let's just take that one out because everybody always wants to say, oh, he had a great year in 2020. Okay, I understand. Other than 2020, as a whole, the dude is 34-23 overall, 34-23. In the SEC, he is 17 and 19. Did you hear that number? 17 and 19 in the SEC. On the road over those other years, 4 and 14 on the road. That's not in the SEC. That's 4 and 14 overall on the road. They paid this dude $95 million guaranteed. He is 17 and 19 in the SEC, 4 and 14 on the road. We could have got that with a $500 coach.
I could have done that.
Jay, what do you think?
Bro, I'm blown away. He's made no adjustments.
No, he said that.
You know what his words were? You know what his exact words were? We need to be more. Here's and listen. And then
don't tell me he said execute.
No. And then last week he was asked. He was asked last week. They said, hey, look, 0-7 on the road going into this matchup at Tennessee. 0-7 on the road the last 7 road games. What changes and adjustments do you have to make? He said, we don't have to change anything. We don't have to change anything. It's about experience and maturity. So you're 0-7 on the road the last 7 games, and you don't have to change anything. You don't have to make any changes. Why are we paying you? Why are we paying you? Corey, why are we paying you?
Dude, has he not seen that offensive line? Has he not seen our offensive scheme? Dude, we looked horrible. I mean, we can't snap the ball. I don't know what's happened to Foster. He can't snap the ball to the max. It was pathetic. Every one of our offensive linemen looked terrible. I can't say anybody looked good. They were awful. I mean, our offensive line, we made Tennessee. Everybody from Tennessee is getting drafted in the first round next year. They all look good. That was their NFL tape right there. Like, let's see a tape. We watch this Aggie game. Watch this. It just, man, our offense is pathetic. I feel bad for our wide receivers because I thought Noah Thomas had a decent game. That's about the only receiver I can speak of because none of the other ones had a chance to catch the damn ball because Max was running for his life.
Well,
go ahead, Jay.
Dude, like, okay, like I work with a kid. I helped mentor one of our kids that's committed to A&M. And I got a disturbing phone call. But I still, like I said, I hadn't watched any press conferences. I haven't watched the game yet. So tonight I'm going to do my homework. But I had to convince this player to hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Not yet.
Is he at A&M right now or is he going to A&M?
He's committed right now.
But Jay, I'll be honest with you. Jay. If I'm a player committed in this class, I'm thinking about getting the heck out.
Oh, that's what's happening.
Yeah, I can see it.
Because
that's what's happening.
If there's no change, I've seen what this picture looks like. I've seen it for 6 freaking years. You know what I mean? Jimbo's not going to get me to the league. He's not going to get me, get me more money. He's not going to put me in a position to be successful. Why would I come here? I don't get it. I understand. I believe that kid. I understand.
No, I told him I understand, but I told him, hold on. Hold on.
Man, I mean.
Wow, man. Like, that was the first deal. Like, as soon as the game was over, I have a buddy of mine that's an Aggie as well. And he called me like, dude, are you listening to this crap? And I told him, I was honest with him. I said, no, I'm at the event. He said, dude, I can't believe we paid this kind of money for this guy. And like I said, bro, I'm blown away right now.
After the game, he's like, we're right there. But he's a broken record with no answers, man.
Where?
The post game press conference.
No, I'm asking like where?
Yeah, right where? Exactly. We're right where. Listen, we're not even talking about the fact that Tennessee was this great team, right? Tennessee's not a great team. They got their ass handed to them by Florida, right? And they made us look foolish.
They did. It was bad. It was ugly, man. Our offense looked awful. Our defense looked decent, but our offense, awful.
So it goes. My next question would be, I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna say I don't know too much about the OC, right? You know, I heard he coached Lamar Jackson, right?
Yeah.
Is that true?
That's
Yes.
true. But
Who is the
a guy like Lamar Jackson will make you look really good.
That'll make you look real good. So let's scratch that out. Okay.
Right.
So who is the other notable guy that he's coached?
He had some good years. He had some good years there, at Louisville. But really his good times at Louisville were with Lamar. Before that, he had Mallet and those guys at Arkansas and had some decent years. But the fact of the matter is that was like 15 years
Long
ago.
time ago.
You know what I mean?
That goes to what I was saying
Exactly.
last episode.
Look, and he said it. By the way, Petrino has said it. And you go watch Petrino's offenses. They look a lot like Jimbo's in a sense, except his quarterbacks are usually a little bit better about making decisions, right, and getting rid of the ball. But he said it before, early in the season. It's like feed the what do you call it? Feed the beasts or whatever, it was his little saying or whatever, right? But it's all one-on-one routes, right? It's all about one-on-one matchups. There is no game planning to get people open. They're not going to use rub routes and different things. They're not going to do some double moves. They're not going to try to do, misdirection or anything like that. This is about, we got great athletes. We're going to go one-on-one, and then here it is. And I understand that to a certain extent. There's times when you want to do that. Let your guys go and feed them, right?
Yeah, but, they ain't got time.
Yeah, but at the same time, when your offensive line is struggling, and your quarterback is struggling, you got to do things to make it easy, man. Easy plays, easy wins. Get some momentum, right? Just little things.
What are we doing in the offseason is what I want to – that's my question. What are we doing in the offseason?
Well, your starting center is running track.
You're supposed to be fine-tuned right now, rolling. Okay, you lose your quarterback, cool. Adjust. Like, it pisses me off, man. Like, dude, you're $100 million dude, man. Make the adjustment.
Corey, what game were we watching? We were watching the game the other day, and I said, hey, watch that quarterback. You can see, Daniels, right? And you can see Daniels for LSU.
Oh, the progressions?
Man, and he's going through his progressions. Boom, 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 boom. Finding open guys, man, delivering the football. You watch Max in this game. He snaps the ball. He looks one way. And he just keeps on looking that way. That's it. There's one look. And he is drilled into one receiver, man. And I don't understand that. This is a kid that's been playing football in college for 5 years.
His dad's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. He should know this.
What's happening?
Man, it's no direction. That's what's happening.
The other thing that I'm going to tell you, and I'm not in that building, but the Tennessee game looked like a game offensively where Petrino and Jimbo are starting to battle a little bit. Where they're not on the same page, where they're conflicting some. And Corey, I said this before the season, right? If this team does not get off to a good start and does not start winning ball games and scoring at ease, there's going to start being tension between both of those guys with big egos, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think it's already there.
No, I agree. I think, I think we all know the end is near for this coaching staff. Does it not have to be? I mean, it has to be. Something's got to change, right? Because if we put up with it for how many years now? What is this, 5th year?
6th.
6th year. We can't go with 7th year. You got to be kidding me. They can't play out this contract.
Well, on
the
honest tip, man, we've been dealing with this since RC left, bro.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
True.
On a serious tip, we've been dealing with this since RC left, bro. And it hadn't been right since.
That's a careful what you wish for kind of situation right there. You get rid of a legend like RC who did the things he did, and then all of a sudden, yeah, it's impossible to replace him, right? And I agree with you. I mean, look, I gotta give Sumlin a little bit of credit in the sense that he had those 2 seasons with Johnny, and really the first one, right?
Right.
But aside from that, this program has been down. It's been down.
And like I gave it all I had on that field, bro, and it bothers me, man, that the program is like it is, and it's really I think everything is easy if you build the right team, right? So it's, come on, 90 million.
And I'm going to say this: out of the guys that they've hired, not a single one of them fits the character of what A&M is, right? Maybe Sherman was kind of that dude a little bit, but not really. I mean, none of those guys. I mean, Fran definitely wasn't an A&M guy, right? I mean, that dude didn't fit in around here. Sumlin really didn't fit in around here. Our current guy Jimbo, all he does is talk fast, man. And but they thought, oh man, let's get this guy with a natty. It's like they didn't look into who is this dude as a coach. What has he actually done with his teams? They didn't care about the fact that his latest teams at Florida State were garbage, right?
And look at him now.
Yeah.
Somebody brought up Urban Meyer the other day to me, and I was like, well, Urban Meyer's done well everywhere he's been in college. But why are you going to go after an Urban Meyer that's on his way down, right?
Right.
Why can't we find somebody on his way up?
We talked about this last episode. We said Dion. You said what else? Aaron Glenn,
Dan Campbell, somebody.
Dan Campbell, man. Dan Campbell's not leaving Detroit, man. He's built himself a home over there. They love his ass in Detroit.
I bet you they offered him 90. He coming.
Hey, they offer him 90. Detroit's gonna give him 100.
I bet you they offer him 90. He coming.
That guy's the match.
They can start. They can start biting at ankles down over here at A&M, baby. I'll do that all day.
I'd love to have Dan Campbell.
Hey, if I'm a former Aggie player, that's the dream job to have, bro.
I'm gonna give you a name a little bit later. I'm gonna give you a name a little bit later that I really like, and I'm gonna bring that up a little bit later. But I do got a question for you, Jay. You've been a part of a team. You've been a part of a team that had a bad start, right? In 2008, you guys started 2-3. You didn't finish a whole lot better. What happens to that locker room, to the guys in that locker room, once basically every team goal that you set for yourself is gone, like that, like it is for this team right now?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, man, I've always been that player that you have to look at yourself in the mirror. Coaches don't win football games. Players do.
Coaches can lose football games, though.
Coaches can lose football games. But at the end of the day, we're in control of the football game. So if your offensive line is struggling, they have to look themselves in the mirror. If your quarterback's not doing his job, they got to look themselves in the mirror. If the receiver's not doing their job, the defensive line, the linebackers, as a group, it looks like it's no leadership. We had leadership.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think the leadership's got to start at the top in this case. I think the leadership's got to start with that coaching staff, and I don't think it's there.
No.
I can't put the blame on a guy like Anaya Smith, who's a senior leader on this offense. I can't put the blame on a guy like McKinley Jackson, who's a leader for this defense. I think those guys go out there and give it their all. They bust their butts. They try to do the right things. Right now they have absolutely no support from the adults in the room, and that's a shame. That's a damn shame.
Yeah, but at the same time, as players, you got to step on toes too. You got to have a team meet, hey, coach, this shit ain't right. We know it, you know it, he know it. As a player, you know this is not right. So what I'm saying, it takes a leader.
Yeah.
It takes a leader.
Somebody's got to walk in that office, right?
Somebody got to walk in that office.
Let's talk a little bit about some specifics about this game. And Jay, I know you didn't watch it, but let me just give you some numbers. And Corey, I want you to start off here though. 232 yards rushing given up by this defense. 232 rushing yards. Take away the negative plays, there was 261 yards gained on the ground. What in the world happened to the SEC's best rush defense?
They weren't as aggressive. I didn't see the aggressiveness out of that defense like I've seen in the other games. They were wide open holes. They were trying to read the gaps instead of just making the offense react to them. That's what they've been doing that's been successful. I mean, I see guys who they're spying the quarterback on running plays. I mean, the quarterback wasn't running. He's just handing the ball off. Milton wasn't throwing the ball for shit. But they got him spying Milton as if he's Lamar Jackson back there. I don't know how many yards Milton ran for. I don't even know if he ran at all. But it just drove me nuts because you got your best players like Cooper and those guys spying a quarterback when he could be getting upfield, getting after his ass. Cooper played well until he got hurt.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to hear what the status is for Cooper for sure, because he's been – look, I saw an article on ESPN today that had him as considered a defensive Heisman in the country. They had him listed at number 2, which tells you he's starting to gain a lot of that national respect. And
the guy's been the man this year.
Yeah.
I'll tell you who else played well was DeBerry. He actually, when they moved him to the slot, like you were talking about, he played well. I mean, he gets up and for a little guy, he'll pop somebody's ass. And he had a big interception in that end zone.
That dude sacrificing his body out there, man. That's for damn sure.
Dude. For a little guy, he ain't afraid to hit somebody.
Hey, Jay, so I'm sitting there and I'm watching this game again because the first time you watch it, you're just going with the flow, as you're watching the game, whatever. So I go back and look at it again, and I'm sitting there, and this is, I think, first quarter, right? First quarter, Tennessee is driving. They're inside A&M's, 35, let's say. First and 10 inside the 35, a team that didn't throw for 100 yards on the day. What would you say if I told you A&M lined up with a 3-man line and 1 linebacker?
I'll go back and say the same deal what I said earlier about the comments after the game. I believe you. I can't believe it.
And I don't actually to be fair, they actually had a second linebacker on the field. The dude was outside the box, the tackle box. Like they're worried about stacked wide receivers on the sidelines. You know what the result of the play was, Jay? They ran for 15 yards. The dude didn't get touched until about yard number 15.
That happened quite a bit.
First down. We're not talking about third down, right? We're not talking about this was 3rd and 20. First down against a team that leads the SEC in rushing.
So it sounds like they're not preparing or they're not doing anything right.
Sometimes I think that DJ Durkin thinks he's smarter than he is. You know what I mean? Like, hey, let me do this. It's like, he's suggesting that maybe you punt on 3rd down or something, like they're never going to expect that shit.
How old is this guy?
Durkin, I think early 40s.
He's one of the younger guys on the staff.
Yeah.
Early 40s?
I'd say so. If I had to bet.
I'll tell you what drives me nuts.
Huh?
What's his background? Where he come from?
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss, where he led 2 of the worst defenses in the country for 2 years.
Excuse me? Say it again?
Yeah. That Ole Miss.
It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke.
Yeah.
My point. That's my point.
It just makes no sense to me. You know what I mean? It makes no sense to me. And they're not paying, by the way, they're not paying me $5 million a year or $3 million a year like they're paying Durkin. So maybe I'm not smart enough.
As I sit here and I listen and I analyze a lot of what's going on, man. It looks like, man, this is just my personal opinion, and I may get some heat for it, but I don't care. Looks like somebody came into our program and said, hey, man, I got a cash cow over here, man. I got a cash cow over here, and them not doing their homework. We can come over here. We can come over here and get what we need.
We can get paid and retire. That's what they said. Hey,
right.
man, we can retire after this. We ain't got to do shit. Who cares what they're saying?
That's what it looks like to me, man. And it's heartbreaking, man.
It is heartbreaking. It is heartbreaking. I thought the secondary played a little bit better. I thought that, they played Harmon and Chappelle on the outside. I thought those two guys did a little bit better. With DeBerry in the nickel, I thought he was better there because he's more used to playing that spot. He's more aggressive. He's able to take out his aggressiveness on that. But, it's not even just that, right? I mean, a lot of three-man line against this rush offense. They're pinching those defensive ends to try to make sure that they're not giving up the middle. But what's happening? Of course, they're bouncing it outside, and we got no outside support coming from the safeties fast enough or coming from the linebackers over the top. And at the end of the day, they were gashing us. But having said all that, the defense didn't lose this game for us again. They weren't the ones that lost this game. So in spite of all those problems, penalties, guys jumping, like how many I don't know, 3 or 4 offside calls.
Pass interference.
In spite of all that, the defense did not lose this game for us. We gave up 1 offensive touchdown, and that was on a short field, 50 yards, and 2 field goals. One of them, the offense didn't gain a yard before they kicked the field goal. So once again, the defense still didn't lose this. I thought Coop was playing exceptionally well. We talked about that. DeBerry had a nicer game. Offensively, this team did nothing. Nothing, absolutely freaking nothing. I could, if you asked me who the offensive player of the game was for this team, I couldn't tell you. I don't know. No one. You know how many times
I said Noah Thomas. I said Noah Thomas. That's the only reason.
Yeah, that's what I heard. He had a good game.
He had a real nice big catch over the top, and then he had another one on a third and long, coming over the middle as well.
Third and long. It was third and long all game.
Yeah. You know how many times they targeted Anaya Smith?
I've read about that. That was a big problem too.
They targeted your best football player once. I mean, the guy, all he's done the last couple of weeks is just absolutely tear people up. Yeah, sure. Maybe not. It wasn't Tennessee. It was Alabama. It was Auburn. It was, Arkansas. All he's done is tear people up. You targeted him once. This is a dude that you can get the ball to on the ground. You can get the ball to him on screens. You can get the ball to him, going over the top. It doesn't matter. He can do it all. Once.
It's to hear that. I've seen a little bit and I read a little bit about it. I'm gonna do my homework tonight for sure because I want to see it for myself. That's not the will to win. Like you're going into a SEC ball game with no strategy. Of course you're gonna lose. If you're not prepared, of course you're gonna lose. Sounds like the kids have no intensity. It's nothing. It seems like they're just going out there it's another day of football. No, it doesn't need to be like that. It seems like everybody's just going through the motion.
I've said it over and over. The frustrating part is you keep seeing the same thing happen week after week with that offensive line, and nothing changes. It's like banging your head against the wall, saying this time it's not going to hurt. It's going to hurt every time you hit your head on that wall, and they keep doing it. They don't max protect. They know the offensive line is a problem. Nothing changes. There's no motion, the pre-snap reads. They just line up, they look, then they still have a hard time getting the ball to the damn quarterback. We had 6 snaps. The 6 snaps that didn't get to the quarterback last game. 4th and 1, Jorvorskie. We had a 4th and 1, right, Alejo? The center steps on the quarterback's foot and he falls down. We don't even get the playoff. That's it.
We don't even get. Yeah, they're going to hand it off to the running back. They don't even get it to the running back. The quarterback just falls.
False. It looked like you're watching a high school game, man. I'm telling you, it was awful.
They were dribbling the ball back to the quarterback all day, and you know what happens? Nothing changes.
Nothing.
Did they make a change? Nope.
It got worse in the second half. It got worse.
That offense, no spark whatsoever all day. Do they make a change of quarterback to see if something? Nope, don't do that either. Max Johnson.
Back there.
Oh, I'm not trying to put this all on Max Johnson's shoulders, but the dude couldn't hit the tailback out of the freaking backfield on a freaking swing route.
Wow.
Jorvorskie, most of his throws were while he was falling backwards. 50% of his throws, he's falling backwards going, oh, and just throwing it up. Surprised he didn't get picked off more than twice. He should have been picked off 5 times.
So I mean, as an offense, you can't do nothing without the offensive line. If they're playing horrible, you asking for destruction.
Yeah, there was one play early on in the first quarter. They're sitting there, you know, they snap it to Max, and I swear not a single one of them blocked anybody. It wasn't a screen, but it might as well have been. I mean, that group is not getting any better. Keeping Adazio as the guy that's coaching that group is, I mean, it's offensive, man. It's offensive to the quarterback, the tailbacks, the fans, everybody, right? They're just going to get Max hurt, number one.
Dude, I'm surprised he didn't get hurt. The hits he was taking, I mean, it was like, oh, man, you're watching him get hit. Jorvorskie like, oh, he ain't getting up. Oh, he got up.
Oh, I'm watching the game tonight, and
man, you got to watch it. I mean, he gets lit up quite a few times.
You got to give it to him. He is tough.
I don't know why I want to come to A&M.
You got to give it to him. He is tough. I'll say that. He's tough.
Man, it's hard. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm a bit Aggie, win, lose, or draw.
Right.
But dude, it's a hard battle to deal with.
There's nobody out there. There's not one person out there. There can't be. There can't be one person out there that's paying for Jimbo's salary, not paying for Jimbo's salary, whatever, that saw that game and said, we're on the right track here.
Oh, no. All of my alumni buddies and friends, and I got the same text message. Are you watching this? Unfortunately, I'm not.
No, you were fortunate. You were fortunate not to be watching. You're going to be like cringing tonight when you watch it, like, damn.
That makes me sad, dude.
That sucks. You're gonna be real sad tonight. I mean, I hate to. You're gonna be like watching a sad movie. You're gonna be like, damn.
I want to very first drive of the game. They came out and scored a touchdown. By the way, just so folks out there know this, I want them to know this because a lot of people were saying that the tailback was going the wrong way and all this stuff. It wasn't the tailback. It was Max freaking Johnson that went the wrong freaking way. Okay.
On that touchdown?
Oh yeah. They were running a play action boot, and he went to the wrong side. Back went the other way. He went to the side that he was booting to. Then he tried to boot the other way and realized there's nobody out there because all the receivers are on the other side. So then he busted a Huey. Now he made it in. Now he ran for it and got into the end zone on a good block by the running back. I believe it was Moss, I think, that got him a block on that. But that was not Moss. That was not Moss. That was Max going the wrong way. First drive, touchdown.
I can't believe it, man.
After that first drive, they had 2 picks. So 12 drives, out of 12 drives, they had 3 turnovers, and they had 7 drives of 5 or fewer plays. And it's not 5 or fewer plays because they went, 75 yards in 5 plays. I'm talking about 5 or fewer plays of probably under 15 yards each drive. That was their production offensively all day. Our head coach is supposedly a quarterback guru and offensive genius. Bobby Petrino, supposedly the offensive guru, quarterback genius. Adazio, whatever. Go ahead, Jay. You got some dad.
You know what? I've always kind of questioned the quarterback guru. I've always kind of questioned that because what quarterbacks are we talking about?
When you're talking about Lamar Jackson, that's about it.
Well, for Jimbo, there's only one, and it was Jameis. And you know,
remember, I played with Jameis.
Tell me about that.
What an experience! Great guy.
Yeah,
great guy. But I still don't understand the quarterback guru remark.
I don't either. And by the way, that Florida State team was on the backs of those running backs, by the way, that they had a stable of.
Yes.
And that defense too. So
defense win championships.
All right, let's talk a little bit about college football in general. Go around the country, man. There was some big time games this week, Jay. Oregon, Washington, right at the top of this one. Yeah, Washington gets the win.
Hey, it's a Lufkin Panther on that Washington team. Jalen Pope.
What?
There you go.
It's a Lufkin Panther on that Washington team.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
Didn't know that.
Jalen Pope.
Hey, man. They played, man. They played. That Washington team is legit. They're the real deal. Michael Penix is the real deal. I was impressed.
That Oregon coach sucks. I can't believe it. Like, what, 3 or 4 times on 4th down before the half. He's got the ball 1st and goal or 2nd and goal, no time left.
Yeah.
Fuck it, let's go for it. He doesn't get it, and they go into half with no points. And you get the ball to start the second half.
And then they lose by 3.
Well, he was the kind of cocky guy if you paid attention to him when they played Colorado.
Yeah.
So going into that Washington game, you kind of knew what he was gonna try to do anyway.
You know, and I wonder if there's some of it is the fact that they sort of know or they feel like is that because the Pac-12 is no divisions this year, right? The 2 best teams meet in the championship, aren't they?
Yeah.
Right. So maybe
that's how it is in there in the Big 12, right?
That is there and the Big 12. And so that's kind of my point, right? With the Pac-12, because when Oklahoma and Texas played, they were like, oh, who cares who wins this game? Because we're going to meet again in the championship game, right? Maybe that's sort of his thought process here. He's just going to go all out in this one because it doesn't really matter if they lose. They win out, they're going to meet them again in the championship game, and then they can fight, they'll figure it out one more time. Right. I don't know. But it was a lot of dumb decisions, I'll tell you that. Jay, what do you think about the dominance that Notre Dame showed over USC, man? USC finally catches up with them. That defense gets absolutely annihilated, man. What did you think about that?
Well, I mean, it's kind of to be expected. If like I said, I'm a prime guy, so I've watched them against Colorado. So I mean, the dominance of what Notre Dame done and putting a butt whooping on them like that, I mean, it's really no surprise.
Corey, you've been saying it all year. Notre Dame's running backs are absolutely legit. They showed it on Saturday.
Well, Notre Dame should have beat Ohio State. They lost to Louisville after that Ohio State game, which, whatever. But USC, we didn't think they're fast. USC is fast. I'll give them that. They got some speed, but they don't have the lines. Their lines are not big. And man, I don't know if you're going to talk about it, but did you watch the Colorado game last week?
Yes,
Jorvorskie?
I did. Yes, I did.
I turned it off after the first half. I was like, this game, Colorado's dominating this game. They're going to beat them by 50. They're going to beat them by 50.
That, bro.
Huh?
Keep learn from me. Never turn your TV off.
I did. I had to go to bed. I was like, man, I'm going to bed. I turned it off. I said, this game's over.
Hey,
there's no way.
Look, Deion still needs to get some depth out there in Colorado, right? He needs depth up front in the offensive line and the defensive line. he starts putting that stuff together, and that's going to be a different story for him, I think, going forward. Because right now they just can't compete up front, I think, and especially as that game goes on further and further.
What happened in the second half? I don't understand. I mean, they were dominating in the first half. They did whatever they wanted in the first half. Stanford looked like A&M on offense in the first half. They couldn't do shit.
Man, it just looks like one of those deals where your defensive guy and your offensive guys playing the wrong chess game.
Because the defense in the first half, Colorado was putting pressure on them.
Right.
I mean, they look great. Did they quit bringing pressure in the second half?
Or maybe they ran out of bullets. You never know.
You know, and Jay, talk to me about this, because I think this is a phenomenon. I've seen it while I was on the sideline. Like, you know, every once in a while you sit in there and you're absolutely freaking rolling, right? You're absolutely freaking rolling. Then all of a sudden everybody's celebrating on the sideline. Game ain't over, right? You're just beginning of the third quarter, and all of a sudden folks are laughing and whatever. And you just kind of lose that momentum. And then when it's time to pick it back up, you can't.
Oh, no, it's too late. Once that momentum shifts on your ass, it's a wrap. It's nothing you can do about it. You got to take that ass whooping.
You got to take it. They took it.
That's why you got to keep your. Hey, that's also why you got to keep your freaking foot on the pedal, right? There's no.
Hey, that's why to this day I am a Bob Stoops fan. Bob Stoops go put 50 on you if he can.
He did it. He did it to the Aggies a couple of times. I'll tell you, 70, I think. Miami went to UNC. Everybody's been talking about how good Miami is. Obviously, they've had a couple of little chinks in the armor. Now UNC put it on them. That kid, the wide receiver Walker, finally got approved to play. The NCAA was absolutely wrong in denying him his ability to play. That dude can play.
I mean, the NCAA is the NCAA. You know, they go play a dirty game.
As long as you're not Ohio State. Corey, UNC's your team, man. What do you think? Are they the real deal?
I don't know. We're not going to find out this week either against Virginia. Virginia sucks. They should beat the shit out of Virginia. No, I am a Carolina fan. I'm from Virginia, but Virginia sucks.
Yeah. Hey, look, Michigan State, Ohio State, Penn State all dominate, but big matchup coming up this weekend is the Penn State-OSU game. That's going to tell you a lot about the Big Ten and where things stand. Florida State dominates Syracuse. Syracuse, who was a pretender earlier in the season, just absolutely falling off. Utah, Duke, LSU, Missouri, all come in, take care of business. A team that I was impressed with that I didn't see this coming. Arizona absolutely put the beat down on Washington State. I thought Arizona was a very probably mediocre to bad team coming in, but they're showing some things.
Yeah, that was ugly.
I mean, you never know, man. I mean, I unfortunately, man, you know, football is football, man. You gotta put your pants on just like everybody else. You know, so you never know. You really know the outcome of these games until they really play out.
That's why that gambling game's a little dirty.
Oh, 1,000%.
I'll tell you which game surprised me. Vanderbilt, they hung with Georgia for the first, I don't know what, 55 minutes of the game, and Georgia, I mean, it was a 10-point game going into the end of the fourth quarter just about.
Hey, that could be a big loss for Georgia because they ended up losing Bowers, and he's probably going to be out a couple of weeks.
Ah, damn. He's a bad motherfucker, too.
He always getting hurt, too.
Questions from the tailgate. All right, number one. Who are the coaching candidates for the Aggies, baby? We're going to go right into it. Who's going to be the coaching candidates for the Aggies? Jay, I know you've got one that you love. Bring it out.
I got two. I'm gonna add Dan Campbell to the mix this week.
Love it.
I like that one.
Aaron Glenn, Dan Campbell. Corey, what do you got?
Oh, dude, I've been saying Dion for a while. I love Dion. I'd love to give me some Dion down here. What I say? I'd be like little Hollywood down here. We'd be bringing in all those guys on the sideline. We'd be partying on Northgate. This place would be like little Hollywood here in Aggie land.
Problem is, Dion's probably not leaving his son until after the son leaves, so he's not leaving a lot.
Bring him with you. Hell yeah. Bring him and Hunter. Bring them all. Bring the whole damn team.
Second transfer, they have to sit out a year.
They'll figure out a way about that. He got some family down here.
I got some names for you guys that I want to bring up. All right, I've got a couple of names, and I'm going to leave my favorite for last. But I got a couple of names. Ryan Grubb, the Washington OC. How would that play out?
Ooh. 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 Ooh.
Hey, those receivers will get some play now.
Ooh. Yeah, I like that one.
How about this? Mike Elko, bringing Mike Elko back.
Ooh. I'm just well, wouldn't be a bad move.
Man, look what he's doing at Duke. That's impressive.
Right.
That is impressive. Right. I actually think Mike Elko is better off at Duke than at A&M. I think he fits what Duke is over there better than he does things here at A&M. I'm not sure.
90 million.
I'm not sure he's got. How about Kurt Signetti, who's the head coach at James Madison? James Madison doing some dirty things.
They are.
That'd be a heck of a step up in competition, though.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to get to. That's in the air for me. That would be in the air for me.
Here's a name. Here's a name I'm throwing out of nowhere. G.J. Kine. He's the head football coach at Texas State, a program that's been absolutely horrendous forever, and he's got them at 5-2. He's infamous in the sense that years ago, you remember? I don't know if you guys remember that story about the coach, the Texas high school football coach that got shot by one of his parents, like a player's parent. You all remember that?
No.
Yeah, about it.
That was his dad. That was his dad. He's a former UCF offensive coordinator, and so he's a guy that has played at a little bit higher level with some success offensively. But I bring him into the conversation because he's an offensive-minded guy. I think if you want to keep the core of this team together, you got to get somebody that's going to get these wide receivers the ball. Here's my guy. And I love this dude when he was an Aggie. I love this dude now. I think this dude's going to be an incredible coach down the line. I don't know if he's quite ready. Gerard Johnson, quarterback coach for the Houston Texans. You know, if you can bring Aaron Glenn, maybe you stick him as the offensive coordinator or something like that. But that dude, to me, former Aggie, that dude's a fighter. And that dude right there will stick around. He can do it, man. He's a coach.
I didn't know he was offensive coordinator at Houston.
Hey, look at how Houston playing. You tell me.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
I agree with that.
Second question, last question here. Which teams do you have in the playoffs right now? Corey, start us off.
Right now?
Yep.
I guess you got to put Washington.
Yes.
Out of the Big Ten, I'm gonna take Michigan right now. They're beating the shit out of everybody.
Yes.
Somebody out of the Big 12. It's either gonna be, I guess Oklahoma looks to be like the best, right? And who are you taking? You taking the ACC or the SEC? I guess the SEC. I guess you're gonna take Georgia. I don't know why. Who else are you gonna take? ACC. They're gonna beat each other up.
Yeah, I agree. But
Florida State's gonna lose a game.
Yeah,
maybe this week.
Jorvorskie, what do you think?
Might beat Florida State.
My picks are his picks. I'm taking what's dominant right now.
Right.
I'm gonna give you a dark horse. Corey's gonna hate the fact that I'm gonna bring this up because this is basically the curse.
Don't say UNC.
This is the curse. UNC, baby. UNC. The curse. Right there. There it goes. Little dark horse action for everybody. Everybody take it in for a second. They still got to go play FSU later on. It's going to be fun.
Fucking Mac Brown's about to turn 90 years old. He ain't going to the fucking championship again, dude. He's just guys, no. I love him to death, but no, he's not going.
I love it. Well, gig 'em Aggies, AP, J, C Money, signing out from the tailgate.
Yes, sir. Y'all be good.